and a Tanzanian artist by the name Ibraah took to social media to complain about the unfair situation he was in. Now, turns out he is signed onto Harmonize's record label as an artist. However, he wanted to venture outside. He wanted to go on his own, pursue a solo career without the record label. I'm not sure what happened, but we have seen this a lot with artists. Sometimes they get to a place and they're like, I don't think my record label is working for me.
Including Harmonize himself.
Exactly. So he said he wanted to break free. However, the record label owned by Harmonize was demanding 1 billion Tanzanian shillings to release him from his contract. And they said they own his masters and everything. So for him to, be relinquished everything, he has to pay the equivalent of 1 billion Tanzanian shillings. I was just coming out to say, obviously, I am a new artist. I've just started getting traction. Ain't no way I can afford that, and it feels like I'm being imprisoned. It feels like you guys have created a system where I am unable to get out of it. However, Harmonize has come out to refute the claim, and he said, first of all, I would like to thank my younger brother. He sent me a message and requested me to allow him to leave the label to go to the world as an independent artist. I said straight to him, I wish you all the best. I got your back as usual all the time, so go forth and be great. He went on to say, I do not know what happened. He later came on to say on social media that I wanted 1 billion Tanzanian shillings. I want to say that I have not asked him for any type of money. Now, 1 billion in Kenya shillings, 1 billion Tanzanian shillings in Kenyan shillings is 47,914,422. So it's not like small money. Where is a new artist getting 50 million for, like, to break his contract? Went on to say, the contract says that for him to own his masters and make them his own for life and make money, he needs to pay the amount stated in the contract. So Harmonize does acknowledge that there's a sum in the contract that is needed for him to break contract, but he did say it is not 1 billion. Like, that's just an exaggerated amount. However, there is an amount. He acknowledged there is an amount for him to break contract. And honestly, that's normal when it comes to contracts and labels and all of that. However, it kind of feels, I feel bad for Ibraah. Maybe he signed without, dotting his T's and crossing his I's. Okay, the opposite. He signed without really reading the contract and knowing what was expected of him or what would be required of him to come out of said contract. So I feel kind of bad, but you should have done your due diligence. So I don't know. Ni mambo ya town.
I think it's not even a local issue. This is more like an international issue as well. Because, like, don't forget, Halle and Chloe are signed under who?
Parkwood.
Yes, which is Beyonce's record label. Two very, very talented artists, but they're barely releasing any music. You're supposed to release, like, how many 10 studio albums, Remember when Adele also had the same issue? Like, she did 19, 21, 25, all the albums, all of those were under one record label. Someone sees you, they see your potential, and they're like, ooh, I can definitely monetize on this issue or on this particular creative. And because you're young, dumb, and broke, you're excited that when someone tells you, I'll give you 1 million shillings, for you to give me 5 studio albums. You're not thinking about the length of time it will take for you to create 5 studio albums. You're not thinking about how big you will grow in that time. You're not thinking about how your value will change. You're thinking about, damn, 1 million Kenya shillings could change my life, could change my whole family. Honestly, it's not that much money. However, if we're being entirely honest, most people get into these contracts really early on. And we've spoken about this many times, about getting IP lawyers, getting contractual lawyers to look through your contract, getting entertainment lawyers to look through your contract. But honestly, sometimes it's as easy as taking your contract and running it through ChatGPT. Like, people make it look like it's such a helpless situation that you are in. You can run it through Google. Google will give you data about what exactly is going on in this contract, what loopholes there are, where you need to protect yourself, and how it can alter that contract to favor you, to make sure that your potential is not squashed. However, in as much as you can do that, not every client will want to work with you once they realize you know your power, you know your value. Let's be honest, many contracts have been left on the table simply because the client or the record label undervalued the artist showed their true value, and they had a disconnect, so you end up losing a job. But we can't live in that fear of, oh no, I'm just going to take what I can get for it. That desperation is what is leading to things like this, having someone basically strapping you down and telling you, yeah, I'm not releasing you because I haven't gotten what I wanted out of you yet. And the contract is the contract which you signed. Guys, let's get serious. Yeah, ChatGPT is there for you. Gemini is there for you. All of these AI apps now are available for you. Run that contract through the app, through the website. Get as much information as you can out of it. Some of those things are hard to understand because you're not a lawyer, right? If it feels like you actually need to get a lawyer after that, then do so. But no, it's time. It's time that we also get some, responsibility and accountability in what we chose to do, right? We said playing victim is so overplayed, guys. It's so overplayed. We're sorry for you, Mr. Ibraah, but, do better in terms of going forward. Find lawyers, get people to help you with getting your IPs, right?